Hey guys, it's me. Just gonna brief you on the work I did here. I don't like deciding for you the difficulty of something, but most of this chapter, including this lesson, is fairly straightforward. You just gotta kind of follow the formula, plug in the numbers, add, subtract, multiply, divide. Nothing different here really. So if you go to the vocab here, you can see these definitions, right? A mortgage is going to be the amount, or as you see here, long-term loan. The amount of the mortgage is simply the amount of that loan. You can look through some of these other definitions. This one right here we're going to have to use to make a calculation. And rates we'll have to use too, but in particular here we'll have to use a point on some of these problems. A point being an additional charge from the lending institution where each point is 1% of the loan. So we have some problems where we have to pay, someone has to pay 2 points. They have to pay 2% of the loan due at the time of closing. Again, more vocab that we don't really need to chat about, but is relevant to a home buyer, homeowner. This right here, this formula, or this is a formula here, and we'll have to use this formula after we look up the amount from a table. So basically, we're going to end up calculating the monthly payment using a table. In the table, we'll look up a dollar amount, basically how much the payment is per $1,000 borrowed. Hearing it sounds a little complicated, but basically all you're going to do is take the rate, which in this case, in this problem down here is 7.5%, and 30 years, and I'll show you in just a few seconds how to look that up. So, but anyhow, once we look up that dollar amount, what we would do is take that payment from the chart, the dollar amount, and multiply it by the number of thousands of dollars borrowed. So, like in this case, the loan amount is $175,500, which would mean it's 175.5 thousands borrowed, which you can see down here. So anyhow, the calculations aren't very difficult, but sometimes the vocab makes it sound kind of difficult. So let's read example 1. The price of a home is $195,000. The bank requires a 10% down payment and 2 points at the time of closing. The cost of the home is financed with a 30-year fixed rate mortgage, 7.5%. So the down payment is simply going to be what it says here, 10% of the price, 10% of 195,000. As you see here, 195,000 times 0.1 for 10%. That's $19,500 is the 10% down payment. The amount of the mortgage then would be subtracting, as you guys can see where it shows that. Up here, the amount of the mortgage is the sale price minus the down payment. So if we take the sale price of 195,000 and subtract the 19,500, we have the amount borrowed, aka the amount of the mortgage, 175,500, right? The loan amount, aka the mortgage amount. Right here, how much must be paid for the 2 points at closing? Remember, each point is a percent of the loan amount. So if the loan amount is 175,500, 2% of that is simply 0.02 times 175,500, which gave me $3,510 to pay for the 2 points. Again, realistically, this is just sometimes a fee that a borrower might have to pay to the bank for certain loans. You don't always have to pay points, but there's always some sort of fees regardless. So anyhow, that's 2% of the loan amount, 2%, $3,510. And then finding the monthly payment, this is where we follow this little couple steps here. The monthly payment, we're going to look up the amount for 30-year loan at 7.5% as stated here. And if you go to that table, which I'm going to scroll down to the table here, a 30-year loan at 7.5%, here's 7.5%, and here's 30 years, and you can see it's $6.99. And what this table would allow me to do is take this amount. It says the person in this scenario is going to pay $6.99 for every thousand they borrowed per month. This is a monthly amount. So, and you can read the title. The title kind of, rewords it. But so in this, back to this problem here, the borrower is borrowing this much, the 175,500, and and the amount they're going to pay for each of those thousands monthly is $6.99. So again, let's recap. 30 years at 7.5%. If I look it up in the table, it's $6.99 per thousand. This scenario, there's 175.5 thousands borrowed, as we can see here. If this is the amount borrowed, how many thousands is it? This many, 175.5. And so if you take that, $6.99 per thousand borrowed and multiply it by the number of thousands, you end up with, sorry, I had to squeeze this in, $6.99 times 175.5, bringing me to the grand total of $1,226.75 for the monthly payment. So we're just kind of calculating a monthly payment using the table. And then here the total interest, if you look up here, you can see total interest is the monthly payment times the number of payments minus the loan amount. In our loan, a 30-year loan, 30 years times 12 months in a year, there's going to be 360 payments times that amount, which you can see here. Let's see if we can get that. So the total interest is going to be the monthly payment times 360, because again, over 30 years, there's 360 payments, one per month, right? So $1,226.75 monthly times 360 months minus the original amount of the loan is going to leave us with this number. This number represents the total interest for this particular loan scenario. Now, that's pretty much it for this lesson. I mean, I can explain this next problem, but it's the same thing. So if you look in the problem, you'll see price $240,000. 10% of that will be the down payment. So 10% of 240,000, right? Just multiply by 0.1. Down payment $24,000. If they put $24,000 down, the amount of the loan, aka the amount of the mortgage, will be $240,000 minus the $24,000, so $216,000 mortgage loan. 2 points of that will be 0.02 times $216,000, $4,320 due at the time of the signing of the loan for the 2 points. And then the monthly payment. Well, this loan was 6.5% 30 years. So if you look at the table, 6.5% 30 years, which we can see here, 6.5% 30 years. It's only 632. It's a little less per thousand borrowed. And that makes sense because it's a lower rate than the 7.5 from the previous problem. So 632. And I noted that here. And the loan amount, 216,000. Well, that's pretty clear that it's 216,000 borrowed. So how much will the monthly payment be? Well, it'll be $6.32 for every 1,000 borrowed. So over here, $6.32 times the 216 gives me a payment of $1,365.12. So, I hope you guys will pause this video as needed to try to help you get through the skills and concepts here. And then total interest, same thing as the last time. Take the monthly payment, $1,365.12, multiply by how many months there are in the loan term, which is 30 years, so 360 months. This is similar to the last section we did in the total amount of money out of pocket minus the loan amount eventually is your interest. So this is not really different than that. Total out of pocket for buying this home for this person is well, it's not the total out of pocket, but either way, the total they put out to pay the loan is this. And if you subtract how much they originally borrowed, the $275,443.20 is the interest. So, but yeah, it's just that one type of problem has quite a few little steps. So that's all you have to learn how to do today. Please continue on and do 1 through 7 odd for today. And that should give you some pretty good practice.